Welcome back, guys.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Everyday Sex.
Everyday sex.
Yeah.
Sick. Welcome back. Season 3. I'm sure we've missed you like you've missed us.
Yes.
Holy moly. Feels weird to be back behind the microphone.
hmm It's been a while. We took, when we last spoke to you guys at the end of season 2, we weren't really sure how long we would have in between, but we wanted to be sure that we were really, really organized with our content and our guests that we want to have on. And we just didn't want to ever feel like last minute or rushed with our production. So we took a few weeks and like really, really prepared. Both of us equally, right, Stel?
Equally.
Yeah.
I am here for the looks. No, I'm just
Stel is
joking.
the looks. I'm the
I
brain and Stel's the
I
brawn.
I did have a lot at the start, but then I got busy.
Yeah. No,
So
you're busier. Like I have more free time and I really like coming up with the creative side of this and
I would if
we're
I could have the time for it, but I also have 3 jobs.
yeah. Yeah.
So
It's true. And
it's a little
a very
difficult.
busy social life 2 days a week.
Yeah, yeah,
um
I wish.
yeah. Well, yeah, no, I love to do this and I'm excited about it. And yeah, we've come up like 24 episodes in, we've covered a lot, right? Like we sitting down to get prepared for season 3, it was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? We've done this. We've had 24 topics that we've covered. And
Yeah.
sometimes once in a while we draw back on things and like cover some things we've covered before, but briefly. But for the most part, we want this to be very fresh. And it's nice that we're back on a schedule now where we are like live. So we normally record Sunday and drop Wednesday. So everything we're giving you guys, like as far as like what's up with us these days, is super, super current, which is good because Stella and I live fast. Let me tell you. So you got to keep up.
We don't slow down for nobody.
We don't. So,
So,
um,
on that note, how's life?
right. Stella and I are like, oh my God, so much has happened in the last month. Um, yeah, I'm
So the last time we spoke, what's her face hit you up?
Lana. Lana hit me up.
Lana.
Yeah. So anyway, uh, no, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. That
That's
did
it. That's pretty much the gist of it. That is the answer to my question. Yep.
It's just, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you're
Yeah,
not ready to talk about it. It's okay. You don't have to be
I'm
ready to
not
talk
ready
about
to talk about it. Okay, Stella and I were supposed to record. This is the tea. This is okay. So this is called raw honesty, and this is what people come here for is the honesty, okay,
it.
and the raw versions of ourselves. So yes, Stella and I were supposed to record yesterday, and I couldn't because I was so upset. I got my feelings hurt, and as Stella and I are aware, and you guys a little bit, that doesn't happen to me very often, and that's not a flex. It's really not a flex. It's just a fact. I like just anyway. So I got my feelings hurt, and I was not in a position to record. I'm feeling much better today, and no names associated with this for now. It doesn't matter. But yeah, and I had like anyway. So yeah, Lana. Yeah, she hurt my feelings again. Fuck. Try. But anyways, she's not the situation. But I don't know. We'll
That's
see.
okay. We don't have to talk about the situation. But anything else that happened in your life?
I had a different girl that I was seeing over the summer kind of become a little bit crazy. I don't like to use that word, but I think that's the word we would use. And I started looking into getting a restraining order. That's
That's
how
how deep it is.
how deep it is. And I blocked her number, and then I blocked her on on all social media. And so she started emailing me kind of like every hour for like 3, 4, 5 weeks.
This is the crazy thing, guys. Sarah, I called Sarah one morning. It was 9 a.m. her time, and she goes, "Oh, look, it's 9 a.m. I've already received 9 emails." And I was like, "That's wild."
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, "I
Yeah.
just wanted her number. I just wanted to talk."
Yeah, I know. You were
That's
like, I
fine.
want to get involved. I just didn't think it would be like of any benefit for
Productive or
anyone. I don't
anything.
want
Oh,
anyone else to
that's
get
fine.
dragged in to this circus. Anyway, so that's calmed down. That's like not as big of a deal anymore. So yeah, that happened and
Any guests?
no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I don't know.
Any
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
possible guests that didn't end up coming? That went, oh.
oh my God. Oh, yeah. So that's the end of my update. We're done with that.
Sorry, I'm the worst. I'm actually the worst. I'm so mean. I'm so sorry, Sarah.
No, I can't. No, and you know what, guys? That's all. I'll be honest with everyone. You know I will till the cows come home. But at the same time, I've gotten in so much fucking trouble talking about girls on this podcast. The number of texts I've gotten, we need to talk, or, oh, so you blah 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 about me, and I'm like, whoa,
I've like
that's
never received a text message like this, so I guess that's why I'm being mean because I've
you
never
don't
had
care.
this problem.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I never ever want people to be like, oh, you talk shit about whatever on your podcast. We're not talking shit. Like, I'm sharing my experience. I like, and I have good vibes to all these women.
Yeah.
Truly, truly. So, anyway, the rest is still unwritten, as Natasha Bedingfield would say. Do you know that song? Do you want me to sing it?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. The rest is still unwritten. You gotta know. Anyway, doesn't matter. My update is I'm living young, wild, and free, living the dream.
Young,
I'm on
young.
vacation 24/7 out here. I fucking love my life. Vancouver Island is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love my friends. I miss Stel. She's gonna come out in March, and we're gonna do some hood rat shit for sure.
Hood rat shit.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm single. I'm ready to mingle, I guess. Anyways, that's all. That's enough. That's enough.
Nice.
Stell, how's the last month been for you?
Pretty low key.
Mm,
Mhm.
oh. Do you guys remember those toys with they're like a stick, and when you turn it upside down, it makes that noise? That's what we're doing, and that's the reference. So, I know
And
we know
also,
the tube sound. Anyway,
and
yeah.
also one time I went to a Noah Khan concert and in the video, no, swear to God, you want it? Did I not show you the video?
No, don't put it
In
on
my
here.
video, I
Mhm.
swear I'll send it to you. I went with one of my good friends from school, and it was intentional. Like I did it because it was funny, but I'll send it after the episode. But anyways,
Mhm.
but it was so funny because at the start of it, her and I both do that sound because it's one of his songs. He
Yeah.
starts it off like that, and it's just so funny. It's super good.
Yeah, fair. So,
um,
yeah. So what's been happening? Who are you dating? Who are you dumping? Smash or pass? I don't know.
I was talking. What was that? The word the acronym that you were using before?
Current sexual partners, CSP.
CSP. Yes. So that one from before is no longer a thing. We are friends now. I just I initially had said that I was so ready for all these serious things, but then when it was starting to happen, I was like, oh, geez, like maybe I'm not. And so I didn't want to waste her time or waste my time. So I was honest and said that I wasn't emotionally ready yet to be in anything serious, and I didn't really know if I wanted to be in anything serious right away. Even though I thought I was ready this whole time. I thought I was like, you know what? It's been a year. I'm ready to get like I've been a year single. I'm ready to get out there. And then it happened, and then I was like, I don't think I'm ready, and that's fine. Healing looks different for everyone. So that being said, I ended stuff. We're friends now. I did start seeing two other people after. or I guess I don't know. I was just going on dates. I don't know.
You weren't committed
But
to anybody, so you weren't
no,
like,
no,
yeah.
and like I asked out a friend of mine.
Stell finally had the balls to ask
Yeah,
out a friend. Because last episode we talked about that. How do we break out of the friend zone? And
yeah.
Stell did it.
It was. I will say it seemed like a romantic novel. No, like a movie scene.
Hmm.
I don't know, but anyways, I did it. She said yes.
Fake
She
name.
was hoping I would ask.
Fake name.
I've been thinking about this whole time for days because I knew you were gonna ask me this. Leah.
Leah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Leah. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. Oh God. Hey,
And the other one?
I almost said ludicrous, and I was like, that's not a good one.
Luda. Okay.
Ludicrous. Um.
For the other one, I'm gonna say Margaret,
Okay.
and we
Didn't we
can't go
already
back.
use that name already?
Oh, maybe.
I think we did.
How about Margot? That's
Marco's
hot.
cool.
I
That
love
is.
that's a hot name. Maybe
Anyway,
because Margot
so
Robbie is so hot.
I
Anyways.
had started seeing. Well, I went on a date with Margot first. That wasn't really a date. I thought it was a date, but I guess she didn't know it was a date. But she had her questions.
Mm.
But anyways, and then I asked out Leah the week after, and or no, that week I guess. I don't know why I'm saying timelines. What?
Mhm.
I'm gonna get a text message now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
jeez.
hope so. I
Oh,
do hope so.
great. But I really liked this Leah person, but and this Margot person. We've all said that we're all not ready for anything serious. You know me, I'm a sucker for love. And
Mhm.
so I was maybe hopeful that maybe one would lead to eventually having something serious. Um, I had a lot of fun with Leah, but we both agreed that things were moving a little quick, and we're both pretty adamant on like they want to travel and I want to move away next year, and like I don't really want anything holding me back, but like and I don't want to be that person for them. Like I really just enjoyed spending time with them, and we had like an insane amount of things in common. And I've also had a crush on this person for years, so I was like I was googly eyed, but
Mhm.
um yeah, so that ended a couple weeks ago, but we're still friends, and like we see each other here and there still, so it's cool. Like she's super great. Um, and then Margot's great. Margot's living their best life right now, and I've really grown to enjoy Margot's time. So
Mhm.
pretty much, we do spend a good amount of time together, and we're just taking things day by day. But like, we're very open about how we're like they don't plan on staying here in Ottawa for that long, and
Mhm.
I'm trying to be as respectful towards it as possible, but it's hard sometimes because feelings get involved, and it's hard not to like such a great woman. So
Yeah. And it's hard at this stage, like at 27, we unless you're like, fully grounded where you are and like your family's there, you're whatever, like we're all kind of like ebbing and flowing and open to change. And so, like you just said, I don't want next year to come around and then you're like, oh, I can't move because me and this girl have been dating for 4 months. Like we're together and I want to stay around where she is. Like you kind of want to keep yourself not tied down, right? At this age.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So I'm open to it. I'm just not like I don't know, you know. So I'm trying to
mhm.
be as like open to it as I can be, and trying to take things like slowly, but it's hard because I'm like, oh, miss you,
Yeah.
but
No, yeah, no, we're the same person. Like it's hard to not be like lovey-dovey, like,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden
And
you're like, wow, this feels serious. Go ahead.
I got a new tattoo. It
Ooh,
says
what does it say?
Harold. Harold, my dog who passed away. My buddy did it, and it looks fire.
Yeah, it's so
So,
I love the red ink. I really need a red ink tattoo.
it's
Yeah.
really a statement. But anyways, that's what's been going on. I've been very stressed out. Works really hard, but I love it. And I'm just trying not to get too stressed out.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, I've
that's
been really into plants.
she has been. Yeah, I was like, yeah, yesterday on the phone, I'm having a mentee bee, and Stella's like, "Wait, can you just check this out? This plant's got a couple babies coming out." I was like, "Okay, brother, show me pictures of the fucking plants." I was like, "I'm proud of you, honestly. I needed that. I needed that."
Anyways, but today we are talking about an actual conversation. We're not
Yes,
just like shooting the shit.
we do like to shoot the shit though.
We do like to
So
shoot the
yes,
shit.
season 3, episode 1,
Hmm.
title is Love Languages and Attachment Styles. Woo! Keeping in mind, of course, Stella and I are not professional anything other than professional weenies. I could just tell. So, like the attachment styles, love languages is a bit of a lighter subject. The attachment styles is quite serious and something you'd want to discuss with like a professional. We're just kind of going off of what like our experience, and we both did some research and listened to some other material about that. So when we get
Hmm.
into that, like that, this is just a forewarning that we don't really know what we're talking about other than just our opinions on it. This isn't like advice to, you know what I mean? Like it's just
Trust
take
me,
it
I can
uh,
barely hold a relationship down. Don't
right. Like what
listen
are
to
you trusting
me.
us for?
Yeah,
We're out here
we're just
getting
talking about our own experience.
we're just getting
And
I'm out here getting bamboozled time again.
seriously, seriously,
Bamboozled. Oh, it's tough.
everything's okay.
Everything's fine. No, no, I'm today I feel fantastic. So,
Okay, good.
so thank you all for being here. Thank you. We're happy to catch up.
We're
Yeah.
starting a ceremony. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, on this
Ah.
day. Yes. Okay, so love languages.
Mhm.
I want to start by saying I've always felt like what an important conversation to have with your potential partner. Um, Knowing how your partner wants to receive love is crucially important, in my opinion, to the flow of a relationship. So, um, also on that wave, a lot of us say, "Oh, these are my 5 love languages, and this is my ranking." But how we show and how we want to receive is different. So when I give a ranking to someone, I say, like, how I give, here's the 5, how I receive, here's the 5. Because like I find myself being a big gift getter, like purchaser, like buying for others, and it brings me joy to buy for others. Um, but I don't care to get gifts. Like that isn't what means the most to me. But it's probably higher on my ranking of showing love. So, anyways, I think it's important to number one, have the discussion with your partner and be open about these love languages. And sometimes they may change. We all go through phases of life where there might be 6 months where physical touch is number one, number one, number one. And then the next 6 months, like for me, like I start on this new medication and maybe like my sexual desire isn't as high. And I know physical touch is not just sex, but like I think we all have flow, and being open and communicating that with your partner is important. And second is being aware that we give and receive in different ways. So,
Mhm.
Stel, what are the way you show love? What would be your 5, like in order of importance?
Um, I'm very much an acts of service person on
Mm-hmm.
how I show love. I am always the first person to be like, "Do you need me to do this? Do you need me to do that? Can I help you with this? Like, what can I do?" I'm always like, "Oh, let me pick you up. Let me drive you home. Let me drive you to work. Let me whatever."
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind. Like, I'm very much a acts of service, and I'd say that, and being affectionate is like physical touch are like tied for number one. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
that's like my
Or
giving is like
showing.
being affectionate
Mm-hmm.
and like very much like very touch. Like even if it's like a quick little like hand on the back, lower back, or like like that's
Mm-hmm.
how I am. Um, and then I think it would be like uh, so acts of service, physical touch,
Tied for first.
Timer first,
Okay.
and then it would go to words of affirmation, and then like, well, what else we
Quality
got?
time.
We got oh no, I think quality time,
Words of
and
affirmation
then
for you is low because you're not a big. Oh, maybe just with me, but because you're not a big like I don't know, like you're not a big like well, you write scenarios in your brain, but I was gonna say you're not a big writer. But maybe I don't know, maybe when you're dating people, you do send them long messages telling them about how much you love them and
I
care for
do.
them. You do. Okay. We just haven't had that dynamic, I guess.
No.
Actually, once in a while we exchange. Like I
Yeah,
think
every
me and
once in a
Kennedy.
blue when I'm feeling lonely. No, I'm just,
Oh.
I'm just joking.
Mhm.
So I would say words of affirmation though are third. So like first, physical touch and acts of service, and then so basically no, it would be acts of service, physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, and then what was the last
Gifts.
one?
Gifts.
Gifts. Oh yeah, I do gifts, but I would say like that and words of affirmation are like lower. But I
Mhm.
don't mind switching it up. Whatever works for you.
We're we always end up tying that to the end of everything we say. We're like, but whoever's listening, like, if you want that, I'll do that. I don't care. I'll do whatever you want. We're just constantly trying to get a date, apparently. Okay, and
Yeah.
then how do
What
you
about you?
best do you think
Oh,
you're for receiving? Is it the same?
oh. Um, no. I think for receiving, I am number one is physical touch. Always.
Mhm.
It has always been for me. I didn't realize it until my last relationship, and I had to beg for the bare minimum, and that's just sad.
Mhm.
That's just like actually just like sad. Like I shouldn't have to beg for someone to show me that they care. And that's kind of like what I really need is a lot of is like affection and physical touch. Like I said, I don't need you to fucking be wrapped around me the whole time because I will get sick of that. What I do need though is for you to put a quick hand behind my head or touch
Mhm.
my thigh or grab my hand quickly or even just like hold on to a finger.
One
That's
finger. That's all we're
one
asking.
finger. That's all I'm asking, literally the bare minimum. Like
Mhm.
I don't need much. I just need you to touch me and then I'm
Mhm.
feeling okay. And so that's definitely number 1. Number 2 would be I would say I would say words of affirmation.
Mhm.
No, quality time, then words of affirmation,
Then
acts
acts
of
of service.
and then wait, what was okay, hold on. Physical touch first. Second would be acts no, quality time, acts of service. And what do we have left?
Affirmation. Words of affirmation.
And what else?
And gifts.
Okay, so then yeah, words of affirmation would be third.
Mm. It's getting
Holy
complicated.
frig. Okay,
We should have wrote this
1,
down,
love
obviously.
language. 2, quality time. 3, words of affirmation. 4, no, I want 5 to be gifts.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
4 is whatever the other one was. I can't remember them all in my head now.
Yeah. No, yours is I just put it up on my phone so I could see it. But yours would be for receiving would be physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and then gifts.
Oh yeah,
What I'm
okay.
taking. There we go. I'm here
That
and
was
I'm
easy.
I'm steering the ship. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah. Just floating. He's just floating.
I'm just a floaty little noggin.
Oh my god. But she's not high right now because we did discuss that maybe she shouldn't smoke as much before we record because sometimes Stell's a
Yeah, I
little
said that
baby
I was like, I don't think I should smoke anymore. She was like, why? And I was like, because I think I look really high when I'm on the
high. When
camera.
I'm really
Like
high, I look
high,
really
like,
high.
but like higher than usual. Like I don't usually look high, but like every time I watch an episode that I was high, I was like, whoa, I look high.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just
That's
like groggy. So I'm actually not high this time. As you can tell, I have
mhm,
more energy, and I usually have more energy when I'm not high,
mhm.
and I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, those are my 5. Sarah.
Yes. Yeah, so to show love, I would
Mhm.
probably and interesting when I was with men, giving and receiving love language, either direction, I never put physical touch very high. Ooh,
Mhm.
that's tea. And now I put it higher. So that
Mhm.
means I made the right choice.
Yeah.
And so for how I show it to people, acts of service is definitely number one. I'm big on that too, like putting gas in their car or
Mhm.
making their lunch without the masking or like
Yeah.
all of
Very
these
much
things.
the small things.
Yeah, and that yeah. So that's a big one. Um, so for how I receive, I would say acts of service, then words of affirmation. Like you said, like so words of affirmation, it doesn't mean needing constant reassurance. It just means having someone like there's a difference between like yeah, begging for someone to give you attention and the affirmation or the assurance of just like feeling confident that the relationship is secure. Like I think that that's fair to want or whatever.
Mhm.
So without yeah. So okay, so I would say acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, and then gifts.
Mhm.
And I know quality time is lower for me because I do like to be alone. We
Mhm.
know that. I I've I've experienced it. Yep. So I do like my own
Recently?
space. Not recently, recent enough. Fake name.
Fake name. Give me a fake name.
Fake name.
Start
T. Starts with a
Tony.
T. Tony. Take that back. That was too far. We're only doing women names.
Yeah,
Um,
Tony could be a girl's name.
could it? How
Yeah.
about Tori?
Okay.
I know you dated someone. I know. That's my okay. Tori, yes, yes, Tori. Shout out to you. I apologize for very much needing my own space and how that
Did I just
played
out
out.
you?
No, no. She and I have talked recently about it, and everything's good. It's all water under the bridge, if you will.
Mhm.
Um, sometimes
What's water
people,
under the bridge?
sometimes people fly across the country for you, and you send them away right away. But it's that's okay because I just didn't anticipate how badly I needed my own space. But anyways, all good. All
But
good.
it's important to know that about yourself, so at least you figured it out.
Yeah. Tori, babe, I'm sorry. Because I know she'll listen to this. She'll listen and then she's gonna text me and be like, really? Tori? Because they're always hitting me up like that too. Like, why'd you choose Lana? I'm like, yeah, honestly, I don't know. Like, that's a terrible name for her. Might as well just use her
um,
real name.
oh,
Anyways, so yes, quality time is definitely something that's like a little bit lower on my priority list because I'm busy and I really like to recently I've gotten really into sitting in the dark at night with all the lights off, listening to music. So my dad does it. I think that's where he includes a lot of scotch as well. I don't really do that part, but anyways, I'm not even watching TV lately. Usually for the fans or for the listeners, the fans, I watch a lot of Naruto anime. So,
I love
um,
Naruto.
you what?
Yeah,
You do? You
I
don't.
love that.
No,
I
you
swear
don't.
to God, I
Who's your
went through a
favorite character?
fucking binge of like all the Avatar movies and shows and stuff.
Avatar is not Naruto. So,
Okay, I know, but same with that.
okay, but did you watch how much of Naruto did you watch?
I don't remember.
Like, did you watch Shippuden?
I
You
don't
don't even know
know.
what that is. Do you know who
Ugh,
Kakashi is?
why are you attacking me?
Because I'm very I'm very I'm very attached to this show. Um,
I can tell.
but that was me and Jack's thing, and that's why I'm so attached to it. And Jack and I shouldn't. I'm not supposed to talk about him on here. Actually, no, he's single now. Jack is single now. Yeah, he and his girlfriend broke up.
About
Um,
time. Sorry, Jack.
yeah, sorry. I know. They weren't right for each other, but
No, they weren't.
no. And
But
he
you are
wrote,
not the one to decide that.
"I'm not. What are you?" Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm happy for him, and he's been very supportive of me lately. Like yesterday, he was really supportive, and I like that
Oh,
we're at
that's
a point.
nice.
Yeah, like to be at a point where I'm there for him in like a heartbreak situation and he's there for me in the same situation. It's
In a
like I
manic
just
episode.
I'm really yeah, I'm really happy to be at that point with him. He did say that if it was if I had gone with men and I was
Uh-huh.
calling him to talk about a guy, he would have a harder time. Um
Yeah, that makes sense. But that's nice of him. Good, good. I'm
yeah.
glad you can also feel like you can trust him and talk
Yeah.
to him about
Well,
that kind of stuff.
I do trust him
No, I
like
know you.
yeah, I love him. I'll always love him.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
yep. Anyways, so anyway, love languages, that would be how I show, and then how I receive. No, that's how I receive
Hmm.
acts of service, physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts. Honestly, I would actually maybe say that mine are the same both ways because I really,
Okay.
really do appreciate when I go take Nala out and I come back and the bed is made. Like we
Hmm.
got out of bed and they made the bed, and it's not because it's not about money. It's never about money. It's about time. It's about,
Yeah.
that I have a really stacked day with meetings and you make my lunch and bring it
Yeah.
into me. Like it's
Yeah.
never about big things. It's about the little things throughout the day that
It's
can
always about the little things, though.
to alleviate the pressure of having to do so much in the day and not having time or whatever. So the
Hmm.
acts of service has always been my top, both giving and receiving. And yeah, physical touch for sure is important. And of course, as everyone knows, that's not just sex. That is walking through the grocery store and putting their hand on your lower back as you're walking through a crowd, or like just little bits of like, I'm yours, you're mine, I love
Hmm.
you, I care for you. And I'm like, for me, especially things like that, like in public, it's like I'm protecting you. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah, we like that. So,
I like that.
um, yeah, so that's the love languages thing. We'd love to hear from you guys as well about your thoughts on all this. And again, I
Hmm.
just want to reiterate how important it is to have these conversations, and not only just sitting with your partner and giving your five, giving your five, receiving, and how you want to show love or whatever, but how what it looks like because acts
Yeah.
of service for you might look different than it does for me, or physical touch or whatever, like having like an in-depth conversation about what your expectations of each love language and
Yeah.
how
Exactly.
that your partner can help like fulfill you. Because with Jack, his number one for sure was physical touch, and I just didn't do it. And then I would come home with gifts for him, and I'd be
Hmm.
like, why isn't he like he would obviously
Yeah.
appreciate gifts, but he didn't really want the gifts. He wanted me to lay next to him and cuddle and do those things.
Yeah.
And I wasn't at the time, I wasn't doing that. So
Yeah. I
thoughts?
got that. No, I can relate.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
And
just like it just makes me think about like previous relationships where I'm like, yeah, it's really about just like taking a second and considering someone else's feelings.
yeah, and
Really.
that comes with maturity for sure.
Yeah.
And Stella and I are super mature, so that's why we know this. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm real mature.
you are, you are, you are,
I
you
have grown a lot,
are.
I will say.
Yes.
Um, yes.
So
Um, yeah,
that.
so anyways, so
Mhm,
those are the love language rankings. Thank you
mhm,
for sharing, Sarah.
mhm. And you can go online and you can do like a quiz and see what like do I found doing the quiz and then sending it to my partner and then we both do it and then like, compare results or whatever, super informative. And that's an easy way to
Mm.
you just answer whatever it is, 25 questions as honestly as you can, and then um compare those results. And it just
Yeah.
it's easier than sitting here and saying, I think I would put this first, but I'm not sure. Like if
Mhm.
you're not familiar with the five, best to do one of those like little quizzes online and
Yeah, I
see
always
what you get.
try and like bring it up in any kind of like, even when I start talking to someone,
Mhm.
it is like one of the first few questions I ask
Well,
about like
because if
what your love languages are, or like what you need from me, and what, and like this is like, and like this is what I need also.
mhm. And a phrase that I've used recently with um not my partner, my potential partner or whatever you'd want to call that. is a phrase that I learned from living here and from my very best friend here, Amy, is receiving what my partner says and my response being, how can I best support you?
You
And
said that the other day, and I loved
loved it.
that.
Like, how can I best support you? So if your partner says something like, and this is love languages or not, now I'm kind of just, I'm branching a little bit here, but they express feeling scared about whatever it is or feeling insecure about whatever it is, instead of just, oh, no worries, babe, like, don't feel like that. Like, let's upgrade. Let's upgrade to, how can I best support you when you're feeling this way?
Oh,
So
so good.
because if somebody said that to you, you're like, we're hearing that like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need. Or you
Mhm,
express like, hey, it kind of bothers me when you do this. And then same response. Okay, not how can I best support you, but like what can I do in that situation so that it isn't as harmful to you, or that,
mhm,
or how can we proactively prevent that situation from happening or whatever. Like
mhm,
communication is key. And I've learned that a lot since moving here. And Lana said to me the other day, like, I've never been around somebody or with somebody that is at a level of communication that you're at. And it's like hard for her, especially because she's a bit younger than me. It's like, it's hard because I am top tier communicator. And that's intimidating for someone that isn't used to that. Like,
mhm,
right? So
mhm. That makes sense.
yeah, it's lots to learn. And I just think, yeah, how can we best support each other? And that's the kind of thing that you hope to only have to talk about once, twice, three times. It's not, if you find that every week you're having the same discussion and they're not actually listening, then
Yeah,
there's
because
deeper
you should only have to say it a few times, and they get the gist of what to do for you whenever you're in that situation again.
And then tying back to the love languages, like you said, right off the bat, you starting in the talking stage, first few weeks in, having these discussions. Because if the girl you're really interested in says acts of service is important, then and I know you, because I know you would do this, you show up to her work and bring her coffee because she ran out of time to get it. And I know you. She ran out of time and Stella will bring her coffee, or her car is at the mechanic, so Stella will pick her up from work or drive her to work. Or, and I know you do that all the time with girls.
Mhm,
So, but if she said, I don't care about acts of service, that doesn't mean you need to change who you are, but you just be
mhm,
mindful to say, oh, she did mention words of affirmation. So I'm going to send her a really nice good morning message rather than just, hey, morning. Good morning. I'm thinking about you. I hope you have a great day.
yeah.
Um, blah, blah, blah. Like just
Yeah, but it's because
knowing.
you gotta be mindful of these things, right? Like, that's what I always try to do is, like, when I know that this is something that they care about, like, Margot had mentioned when we first started talking, they were like, "You don't ask me about myself that often." And I
Oh,
said, "You know what? You're right." And I do have a problem with that sometimes because I do like to talk about myself. And I was like, "Okay, I will be better." And then since she told me, she's like, "You've been so much better."
mhm.
And actually, one of the recent things she said to me was that I make her feel seen and I'm a good listener, which is much better than "you don't ask me about myself."
Oh yeah, that's a tough one to
But I
receive.
liked it. I was really caught off guard, but I liked the fact that she was honest, and I was able to adjust and remind myself that it isn't just about myself, and I should probably ask how they are, like, what their day was like, and take interest in what they like because I care about them and it's important for me. It is. I just have a tendency of forgetting things like
Mhm.
this. And I know it's not about forgetting, it's just something I should know how to do, but I don't.
Yeah,
And I've never been that good at it. And it's just something that I struggle with. And it's not just in my romantic relationships, it's in my friendships all the time. It's in my family relationships, most relationships, because I have a hard time remembering to ask about someone else.
yeah.
So,
And
yes.
that's no, I love that. And I love that you're like admitting that, because that isn't like, that's not an attractive thing to say
No.
that I don't think about other people, but
No.
you're learning
And
from
I
it. Mhm.
and I do tend to think that I'm a really good person and I'm a really good partner, but that is something that is not attractive
Mhm.
when and I know it isn't, and I catch myself a lot of the times, and I change it. But for someone to call me out for it, I was like,
Mhm.
whoa,
And I love that she had the courage to say that, because she could
yeah,
have just been like resentful towards you and felt like she could have been sitting with her friends like, oh man, Stell doesn't even care about me. Like she doesn't ask what I do for work. She doesn't ask how my day was. Like or you know what I mean? Like things like that. She could have
yeah,
been
yeah,
just kept it on in her own head, but she didn't. She was
yeah,
like, I would like you to do more of that. Like as not demanding, but requesting better communication from our partner. Like, why not do that? Like,
yeah. And honestly, like, she's one of the first people that I've talked to that is very blunt, I guess you would
mhm,
say, and she's like pretty serious of a person, but she can be goofy. But there's a time and a place, and I don't think I've ever talked to anyone who's very stern about things. And also, her sense of humor, I have a hard time understanding sometimes.
mhm, mhm,
But likewise, I think I'm just a little too goofy sometimes, and I'm like, oh, maybe she wasn't being goofy, but then she totally was, and I just didn't know.
mhm.
So it's just also about communicating. All of it is
Yeah.
comes down to communicating always.
Being clear, Amy always says, clear is kind. And I agree with
Mm,
that. Like being clear and um being honest. Like and being honest when you're bothered by something rather than holding it in for 3 weeks and then exploding and saying, "Well, 3 weeks ago you said this and this is how I feel." It's like I can't fix that now. Like I can do better, but
exactly.
I want to talk about it when it's happening. So
Yeah, exactly.
so that's really good.
Mm,
No, yeah, I think any time that we can enhance our communication with our partner, and I think a really easy way to do this and an easy takeaway for listeners, and then what I've found to be really helpful, like I find myself to be a very active listener. And so
mhm,
let's say we're texting and um, I say, "How was your day?" And then when you say, "My day was okay, this happened at work, but overall pretty fine." I could say, "That's good, period." But I'm not. I'm gonna say, "Sorry to hear that that happened, period." And I will always ask a question. Uh, how did that get resolved? Question mark. Or do you think that problem is going to happen again in the future? Or like to show that I heard what you said, I processed it, and now I'm going to ask you a question to know that I'm really listening. And truthfully, because I do, I really care. So not just, oh, sorry you had a bad day, like heart. Like no, like I'm sorry you had a bad day, whatever the conflict was at work, like how can you make sure that doesn't happen? Or you throw out our best card and say, how can I best support you today? Do you want to go for a drive? Like, do you want to talk about it on the phone? Do you want to send me a voice note to vent? Because I do that to Stell. Um, and just yeah. So anyway, just asking questions. Don't ask questions if you don't care. I'm not saying to fake it. I'm saying asking questions to get to know the situation better and get to know how your partner's feeling, and just showing them that you really do care and that you're
mhm.
listening and that it matters. And if you're really a good communicator, you'll follow up a week later and say, hey, that issue with so and so, did that get resolved? I was just
I
thinking about
know, and I
it.
did do that. I remember being like, "Hey, remember when you told me I wasn't asking enough about you and I didn't take interest? How have I been since then? Do you
Like,
find
mhm,
like you need more from me or do you need less?"
yeah.
And they're like, "No, it's been great." And I'm like, "Nice."
And that shows that I was listening, I care, and I'm going to follow up to make sure that I'm doing what you need.
Yeah,
Like that's prime communicator.
that is
So
prime.
we're 45 minutes in. Love that for us. But we want to talk about the second kind of segment of the episode. We're weighing a little bit less heavy on because it is okay. So here's the truth. Here's the truth, the tea. When I said to
Here's the
Stella,
tea.
yeah, I was like, let's do love languages and attachment styles. So I sent her a quiz on attachment styles, same thing as the love languages. Do these 25 questions and it'll tell you your attachment style. And then I'm like, okay, that'll prepare us for this episode. That's how what we
Mm,
need to talk about. And then I listened to a podcast about like a psychology podcast, and the girl said, I think it's hilarious that people think they can do a quiz to get their attachment style. That like I laughed out loud when I saw that. That is so like phony. Like there's so much more to it than just a fucking 25 question pop quiz.
yeah.
And I text Stella, I'm like, okay, don't mention on the podcast. Did the quiz.
Abort.
Yeah, I'm like, never mind the quiz. Okay, I know we already did it, but like, let's not expose how short sighted that was. Because, yeah, and it made sense. So we both listened to this podcast to learn a little bit more about a psychologist's perspective on the four attachment styles. And I've got some notes on my phone that I'll use. So basically, the whole concept is that everybody has an attachment style for not only relationships, but also family relationships, like romantic relationships, family, friends, coworkers, whatever it is. Any relationships that we have and any connections that we have, we tend to fall into one category of attachment style, sometimes a combination of both. And the theory that our psychologist podcaster talked about was really explaining how this all comes back. As we know, we all know what I'm going to say. It all comes back to your childhood. And if your parents were around and if they were supportive of you and if you felt secure that when you came home, your parents would be there, there would be dinner on the table, warm bed, clothes in the closet. Like, not that's not a financial statement. That's just knowing that you could count on your parents. That is a
Yeah.
really big effect to how we handle relationships as adults. So, um, I'll start. Well, I'll just mention I've got some notes, and Stella's gonna off the top. But so the first and the attachment style that we all strive for is called secure,
Mhm.
which would be, like I said, everybody's goal. This is a healthy relationship where you feel like you can openly express emotions to your partner without them leaving. You can
This is
ask.
what Sarah got on the test when she lied on everything.
Okay, I'm like, what'd you get on the quiz? She's like, oh, I got anxious. I think you got a little bit.
Uh, yeah, a little bit anxious,
Yeah,
yeah.
a little bit, just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
And she's like, what'd you get? I was like, oh, I got secure. But it's because I literally answered the questions to
I
make
was like,
sure I was.
yeah, right. Yeah.
But like in general, I am. It's God. It's only some people that make me a little crazy. um,
A little delulu. How
a
the kids say it nowadays.
That's what the kids are saying. It's true. Um,
Yeah, I was like, what are you saying?
so yeah. So being able to communicate openly, whether it be with your parent, your sister, your coworker, your romantic partner, being able to ask for things and feel confident that you can say to your best friend, "Hey, yesterday you made a comment about my hair, and I didn't really like that. Like I would like moving forward that you do this instead or whatever." Like, and
Yeah.
knowing that they're not going to just say, "I'm not your friend anymore," and leave. So having the secure attachment style is a reflection of kind of overall self-confidence, that you feel secure enough in yourself that it kind of echoes out onto relationships.
Mhm.
Most people with a secure attachment style don't need approval. They don't rely on the responsiveness of others. That's where I am not secure. I know that. And
Mhm.
they have a positive view of themselves and other people. Thoughts?
That was actually one of the questions on the test. It was like how you view yourself versus how you view other people.
Hmm.
Which is like I view other people fine. It's just like myself sometimes I don't view myself always that great.
Hmm.
But that's
Yeah.
like a common thing, I believe.
Yeah.
And I agree with the whole secure thing. Like I find I'm much more secure than I used to be. I'm at a place now where I'm like and I like preach my significant other, like even in my last relationship, I tried to get her to be with her friends more and hang out with her friends and make some friends, and because she had no one but me, and it caused a lot of problems because I am a social person,
Hmm.
and so I would go out, my partner wouldn't, and my partner would be upset, and then I'd be upset, so I'd leave and I'd go, right? So it was this pattern of like I felt secure in her going out and things, but there wasn't much security the other way around, which is fine. It happens. It's totally okay. But like, it's really important for that like in order to feel secure. Like again, communication is the top in all of this, and I do think it actually does. it will all of this will stem from your childhood, even in how your family was to you.
Mhm.
And that's how, like, and if they were like always, you had no questioning raised growing up that these parents were there for you and they're always had your back. There's no question, there's no struggle or very little
Mhm.
struggle, like then I would assume that most people would have a secure attachment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It definitely comes a lot back. It comes back a lot
It's
to
always your childhood. It's
yeah.
always, God
Mhm.
damn it.
I know. No, for sure. And the second one that we so the thing that this psychologist said that Stella and I listened to is it's kind of become the concept of attachment styles has become like a buzzword that people
Mhm.
are like, "Oh, I'm so anxious attachment." And I say that. I literally say that. Like I said to Lana, like that I felt like our dynamic was kind of triggering like an anxious because the one that stands out to me is not relying on the responsiveness of others. I felt that like that it's okay to feel good when your partner texts you, but
Mhm.
to feel not good when they haven't for a while, that's where the problem. Like you do the
Mhm.
dependency. And another, I think, a factor, being easily influenced. This isn't not in my situation, but the concept of being influenced by your partner's mood. Do you know, like if your
Mhm.
partner had a really bad day, all of a sudden you kind of like have a bad day too because their energy is so low? Like it's important as a like a so a secure person, secure attachment style wouldn't
Yeah.
have that issue. They would be able to be supportive without being like dragged down.
I'm like that.
Sort of.
Like I it wouldn't bother me if they had a bad day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good.
Like I'd feel bad for them
Um,
and stuff, but it wouldn't affect my mood.
yeah,
Really.
that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Okay, and then the second attachment style that most people align with because it's on TikTok and we all just kind of again throw it around is anxious. And this is someone that some characteristics here would be fear of abandonment, always referring to their partner as their better half, which is interesting. Like, because that's a cute thing to say, but what are you fucking looking at? What?
I just do that a lot.
Oh, you do that. Okay. Anxiety, just kind of general anxiety around relationships and having them be more kind of stressed than they are beneficial.
Mhm.
Lack of trust, lots of ups and downs, anxious when alone and single, negative self-image while having a positive image of other people. The idea that oh my god, everyone's going to leave me, this person's never going to stay, I can't get too comfortable because they're on their way out.
Mhm.
And then also someone that's kind of constantly seeking approval, support, and responsiveness from their partner.
Yeah.
So I feel like it depends on the person. Like with Jack, I think we were both more on the anxious attachment side. It was long
Mhm.
distance, there were trust issues. We weren't secure. We just weren't. We were better when we were living together. But I think being with someone that is secure will most likely and hopefully in turn make you feel more secure.
Yeah. It I am like that because
Mhm.
I have a tendency of adapting though my partner's like how they handle certain situations. If I watch them and they're like they don't freak out about it, then I'm like, okay, then maybe I should not freak out about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And feeling like them being like, "Oh, you can go out to the club and get drunk and hang out." Like that doesn't bother me.
I
And then
know. I'm like, are you
right.
sure?
And then but then you're like, "Well, then I'll feel comfortable when they want to go out." Like it's yeah, it's that. So again, a lot of people align with that because I think 20 years ago, 30 years ago, people were not on cell phones all day.
Yeah.
You'd be dating someone and you'd get a phone call in the evening to see how their day was, and that's all the contact. So it was
Mhm.
easier to not be dependent on that contact. Whereas
Yeah.
now, like there's been times where I'm Snapchatting, Instagram messaging, and texting with my partner all at the same time, where it's like like photos back and forth, text, voice notes, calls, like constant attention all the time, sending each other TikToks, whatever. Like
Mhm.
and then when one of those is cut short, you feel it more because you start to
Mhm.
be dependent on it. So
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the time I'm having a pretty fair split of the secure and the anxious. So and
Mhm.
I'm fine to admit that.
Mhm.
And I think you are too. I know you scored anxious on the quiz, but I think that you are similar to me. Yes, brother. Don't.
I think I'm much more secure than I used to be. I was for sure very anxious only before,
Mhm.
whereas now I find I'm more secure than I am anxious.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Like there
good.
are a few things that I get anxious about still, but I'm definitely extremely like much more secure than I used to be.
And that comes with self-confidence. I really align with that one. Like Ontario Sarah was way more anxious. Like Ontario Sarah was probably 70% anxious, 30% secure, but Island Sarah is reverse, 70% secure, 30% anxious because I'm cool. I'm good on my own. I feel confident. Like, and I said that to someone not that long ago. I was like, I want you. Like, fuck, I want you bad, but not you. That's what I said to her. Okay. I said, I want you, but I don't need you. And I loved sending that text because it's like, it's true. And that's how you need to be. We all need to be like that.
Yes.
You can't need
Yeah.
anyone because then when they
Yeah.
leave, when they ditch you, you're all
Yeah.
fucking, you're crying on the beach all day. I don't know from experience.
Slay.
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 Yeah.
Okay, now I'll touch on the other two just for because those are the top two that people talk about the most. The third one is avoidant, which is just I might have a smidge of that
See,
one.
I got the one that I took the quiz, it said anxious avoidant.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Because I definitely like I'm like into you, I'm down, I'm like all in, and then as soon as like I feel like as soon as I'm done, I'm avoidant. I'm like I'm just yeah, I'm like out. Like
I don't
I
think I
will
am,
yeah.
which is crazy because I'm
Well,
like,
okay, the category things for this one are struggle to be vulnerable, can't rely on others, repress emotions, and just overall kind of like shifty.
oh, okay, so that actually checks out.
Yeah.
That really
Perfect.
checks out, actually.
I
Yes,
think
I'm actually all of those things.
ultimately I think we're probably all a little bit of all four. Like
Yeah, I
heavily
mean,
weighted
shit
in
rocks.
certain areas.
Nobody's freaking fully secure. So you
Yeah.
know what? Get bent.
And then things happen and things can change. You get cheated on, that security is going to drop significantly.
Hmm.
So and then the last
Exactly.
one is disorganized, which is just poor emotional regulation, fear of abandonment, low self-esteem, and needing extreme closeness or extreme distance, but nothing in between. So just kind of
Interesting.
all over the place.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that's me.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
you,
don't.
but not me. No,
No, no,
I'm
I,
just
I
kidding.
don't. Yeah, I don't align with that. I can when I look
No,
at
I
my
know.
list of all like the characteristics of all four, there is parts of each one that I can see, but I would definitely put myself much more in the secure category than
Yeah,
anything else. But avoidant too, like because as soon as I am off, I'm like off. Like we talked about Josephine flipping the switch. I'm kind of similar in some ways.
yeah, that
So,
switch is spooky.
but then I also want to say this about that. So okay, this is like this is very current stuff. So this will be our closing thought. I know we're on a schedule today, because Stella's cat is at the vet and needs her.
Yep,
So,
I gotta go
um,
pick her up.
yeah. Traditionally, when I was in high school and college, I would cut people off for barely any reason. Literally, like you look at me the wrong way, I'm like, no, it's cool. I'll go find someone else. Like, I don't care. I was very quick to cut people off, and I prided myself in that. That was a
Mhm.
flex. I would tell people, oh, I'll cut you off. Like, I don't care. Like, blah, blah, blah. And since moving here and meeting Amy, honestly, a lot of it comes down to her because she's taught me a lot. What do you gain? Like, really? And I'm not saying go back to your ex that hurt you 100 times. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it pays more. Like, what do you really gain from being closed off, sharp, and like aggressive when you can just like, it's harder to be vulnerable and to be open and to like try to really, instead of just like, oh, fuck that person, but listening to where they're coming from and like having empathy. And you don't need to go back, but just to be having your heart open is harder than being closed off. And I'm finding myself
Mm,
becoming way more of somebody that like would give second chances and would you know, be receptive to, like, I will say every day I am always changing. So are they, right? So are they. So are you. And your ex from 5 years ago has changed. That doesn't mean you need to
Mhm.
there's of course different scenarios for everybody, but I think that there's something to be said for meeting people where they're at. And I don't know, like, again, it's easy to cut people off, block them, they're done. It's harder
Yeah.
to sit with your feelings like I did yesterday and just allow, like, feeling feelings is way harder than fucking sweeping them under the rug. So
No, I know.
I encourage people to feel the feelings and just be open. Be open, and yeah, that's all. And you might get hurt.
Yeah, but it's
Doesn't happen to
all
me,
part of the
obviously, but
yeah,
yeah,
it's
other
all
people.
part of the process. It
Yeah,
happens, it sucks, but
at some point it's gonna be
you
worth
gotta risk it for the biscuit.
oh, tea.
That's how we're
Totally.
gonna leave you out, is you gotta risk it for the biscuit, guys.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
That's it. Alright, well,
So,
thanks so much for coming back for another season.
mhm.
Oh my gosh.
We're excited. We've got lots of guests planned. Hopefully those all pan out and work out. Stella and I love having a third person on here. It's just really fun to bounce ideas, and of course, we really love having Julian because he's
Mhm.
hilarious. But he's a very busy man, so sometimes he joins us, sometimes not. We'll have a couple new guests joining us throughout the season, and lots of fun topics. And we listened to what you guys said about things you wanted to hear, and we're going to touch on that in different episodes. And yeah, lots of really great stuff. I think this will be our best season, and
I agree.
I'm very, very excited about it. So, Estelle, we're like, again, it just feels amazing to bring this to you guys and have it be received so well. And
Mhm.
um, yeah,
Crazy.
it's an amazing feeling. So thank you guys
Yeah.
for coming back for season 3. We hope you stick around. Share our show on your socials. It really, like, oh my God, it warms our hearts to see people posting that they're listening to us in the car and posting a photo,
Yeah.
or
And
like wherever you're listening right now, take a
seriously,
screenshot, post it on your story, tag us, we'll share it. Like, it brings us the most joy. So
seriously, and share with your friends, like and review. This helps us and it helps you.
wow, that's it.
That's
Amazing.
it.
So thank
Alrighty,
you
guys.
guys. It's been real. We hope this was informative and fun to listen to, and we will be back next week with another exciting episode. So thank you for listening, and thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.